Well, GM, G to the M. Great morning, my friends, DJs, Diamond Hand fam, super soldiers, Forge and Fuel crew, one percenters, builders, pivoters, pioneers, pursuers, brothers and sisters, hermanos y hermanas, mamas y papas, anyone I may have left out and anyone in between. Welcome back and welcome into your favorite way to start the day. It's time to get fired up at Forge and Fuel, baby. It is Friday, September the 27th, 2024, and I hope you're ready to wake up like never before. We got a show on tap for you today. We're going to be talking about change. We're going to be diving into some motivational clips and reacting like we always do, and we're going to be answering some questions from the live audience too. Ooh, we got a nuclear power plant of energy on tap for you today, but not before I ask a couple things of you, baby. As your humbled, honored, and clearly always hyped host, I would not be doing my job if I did not ask you to take a quick minute to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you're currently ingesting the Forge and Fuel pod on. If you are watching on YouTube and you just hit that notification bell right around that area, you might as well hit that notification bell too, or subscribe button or notification bell, whatever the hell I just said. Little bass backwards this morning, but we'll get there eventually. And while you're doing that, you might as well hit that like button too, so you can help that algorithm get going and get flowing. Hey, if we say something during the show today that makes you laugh, makes you cry, it makes you think, it makes you go, I ain't never thought of it that way before. Well, hey, don't be a host. Share the show. Let the people know. Go out on the timeline. Hit a like. Hit a repost. Share it out on YouTube. Make your own clips. Hey, we'd love to see that. If you make your own clips, post it out there on the timeline. That's pretty badass to see. Who's to say, who's to know? But the gang's all here, my friends. Not just me. So let's bring them in to this fine morning show. First of all, we got to welcome in the co-host with the mo-host of this fine morning program. He is a man who is always hopping on a tin can to go travel and complete a mission in some foreign land. But for the last few days, he's been locked in here at the HQ. The HQ of what? Well, the HQ of the Grandpa Ape Country Club, where he finds himself the owner and the lead pro on the greens of GACC, if you will. He is a professional DJ with a wide-ranging musical catalog. Honestly, more songs in there than you know what to do with, making him a human iPod. He is a purveyor of positive vibes, a curator of high-level energies. My friends, the jet plane flying, McLaren driving, the Rolex rocking, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only, with an emphasis on the one. He's DJ Swirl One. Great morning, Swirl One. How you doing over there in the HQ?
Bro, it's Friday. Are you kidding me? It's Friday. I'm excited. I don't know if you guys would have seen this in the green room back there. I was moving and grooving, had my headphones in. Those guys were like, what are you listening to over there? I was like, oh, yeah, let's go. And I get money. And they were like, dude, I want to hear that. I'm like, they had no idea, bro. Pissed. I was getting down. Hey, my vibe is on a million this morning. Hey, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to a great Friday. Looking forward to a great show. Looking forward to some amazing conversations. even some awesome videos we might learn a little thing about here and there. But other than that, though, all those things that Capp said to do, I really would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, send it out. I don't know, smoke signals. You want to wrap it up in a newspaper and toss it door to door. I'm cool with that too. We're good with all that. Shout out to all of our early birds that showed up bright and early. I saw Malka come in here, best dressed first one in the door, man. I don't know if you saw that, but he was looking super clean, kind of like me in this little, this Tokyo shirt I got on here, man. I'm telling you what, I woke up ready, beat my alarm, and then I tried to go back to sleep, and I said, man, what are we doing? We got to get up this morning. We got things to do. We got a life to have. We've got a absolute amazing Friday on tap, and it starts right here, Forge and Fuel.
Hell yeah, it does. Hey, I saw Malka in there. I tell you what, me and Deez were talking about that guy yesterday. I gotta shout him out. He's a silver fox. I tell you what, that guy, he be out there. He be moving real smooth, real delicate, like not letting people know, acting like, oh, I don't know much about nothing. I don't got nothing going on. And then he just be sliding in. I know that Malka motherfucker. I know him. He be acting like he ain't got it, but he does. He does now. Watch out. Whew. Shout out Malka. Appreciate you, my guy. Great to see all you beautiful humming beings over there in the live chat right here, live in prime time this morning. Hey, if you got any questions, hell of a time to mention it. If we trip a trigger, if you got something burning on the brain, something melting on the heart, something festering on the soul, if you say, hold on, I need some additional perspective, well, drop it down there in the comment section over there, and we'll pull it out in the third segment of the day, answers from the Anvil, and we'll share our perspective. Bye-bye. But my friends, before we go any further, we must make a very important announcement. Shout out to all of our viewers on X, on Facebook, on YouTube. You are about to find out that there is a very special celebration we must have today. There is a very special young lady that we must say happy birthday to, baby. And who is this special young lady? Well, without her efforts some 28 3/4 years ago, we wouldn't even have this show. That's right, my friends. The young lady who gave me life, who brought me into this world, and if I keep jacking around on this show, she might yank me right out, so I better mind my P's and Q's this morning. My friends, you've seen her in the live chat. You've seen her comments on the screen. You've seen her by my side day after day as we grow this DHMG brand. Baby, she's the one and the only Mama Cow. Happy birthday.
Hey, I even brought her a cake.
We got a cake for Mama Bear.
I even brought her a cake. So we were ready for this right now, bro. We got a cake for her.
Hell yeah. We got a cake live in prime time. Shout out, Mama Bear. Happy birthday, the big 6-0. Wow. If you know Mama Bear, she does not look like she's 60. She looks like she about a day over 35. She is out there.
She looks amazing.
It.
And
Woo!
her energy, you get around that woman, her aura is bigger than you can even imagine. She's awesome. Shout out to Mama Capp. Great people to know. The whole entire Capp family is pretty awesome. Grammy P. Saw them all last night, man. I'll tell you what, I had a good time seeing everybody, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, you know what? Little one time for the one time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
dear
Mama
Bear. Happy
birthday
to you. Happy birthday, Mama Bear.
We should take this show on the road. That was pretty damn good, bro.
That wasn't that bad, dude. Little duet.
I'll tell you right now.
Little CNS birthday serenade. What you know about that?
In the morning. Check us out.
Ooh, come on, charge $500. Hey, you could charge $500 a pop for that. Send the show on the road.
I was total Elvising the entire mic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Elvis has left the building. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, you can see it right there. Welcome, loving our singing skills.
Oh, shit. We're going to have a show today, my friends. Once again, Shout out Mama Bear, youthebomb.com. Thank you for all your support. Mama Bear's been in the corner since I was hosting podcast and she was the only one in the live chat. She has been rocking with me since the day one of this crazy journey. So shout out to you, Mama Bear. This all wouldn't be possible without your love and support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But my friends, we got a show to get through today. I told you about answers from the Anvil. I told you about Mama Capp's birthday. We told you to hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, hit the like, share it out on X, share it on Facebook. You know what the hell to do. We're locked in. We're ready to roll. We're ready to roll, ready to roll, ready to roll. Woo! Time for the first segment of the day. If you ain't fired up yet, you're about to be, baby. Let's get into that. Sharpening Session. Alrighty, my friends, it's time to step up to the plate and knock a couple of perspective pitches right out of the park. Whoo! I'm on one today. It's just rolling off the tongue, baby. What are we talking about today? Well, if you saw the title of the show, it is The Only Certain Thing in This Uncertain Life. What is that? What is the only certain thing? What is the only thing that each and every one of us...
We're going to die, bro. That's what it is. It's good. We're going to die.
Damn. Well, I guess I don't need to do my motivation minutes anymore. I guess we're... Okay. Well, have a great day, everybody. We're all going to die. See you later. Goodbye. No, we all are going to die. We all are going to hit that deathbed. And maybe we talk a little bit more about that on the second segment of the show. Who's to say, who's to know? But we ain't talking about death. We're talking about something even scarier. Something more painful. Something that drags you even deeper down into the dark abyss. That's right, my friends. It is change. That's right. We're talking about change. And the first quote I will give you, my friends, is people change when the pain to remain the same becomes too great. I want to share a little story with you. This past weekend, I watched the new Magnificent Seven. Well, not new at this point. Came out in like 2016. But the newer version, not the old one, not the almost black and white. They just came to color, not the new one, right? If you haven't seen the new one, I won't spoiler it for you. I won't get deep down into the weeds, but there are a couple of stories that you can pull from that movie that I was wondering when I would be able to talk about them. But here we are this morning. Here we are live in prime time. And now I get a chance to give you a little perspective from a movie that not a lot of people might think that you could gain some perspective on change. So if you haven't seen the movie, Chisholm is the main bounty hunter, if you will, played by Denzel Washington. And he's riding into town doing his thing. There's this big whole hubbub and no spoiler alerts. But it comes to a point where two of the main characters in the movie approach him and say, hey, we need your help. Our town's being overrun. Old Bogue, this miner, he's a millionaire, and he's giving us $5 an acre for our land. He's screwing us sideways. He's killing all of our people. We don't know what to do. We're just a bunch of poor farmers. We can't fight back. We need your help. Chisholm kind of looks him up and down and, yeah, whatever. He keeps riding along, and the girl, who's the main character, jumps in front of his horse and says, why won't you just listen? Okay. I thought in that moment right there, I said, maybe it's important sometimes just to listen to what other people have to say before you rush to a judgment or a conclusion. But after a little conversation, Chisholm decides, all right, I'm going to help out this town. But he's got to find some people to help him. And he starts getting together this ragtag bunch of 7 guys, the Magnificent Seven, right? And when they make it to this town, these badass 7 dudes, they got an Apache warrior with them. They got this Mexican bandito with them. They got Josh Faraday, who I'll talk about Josh Faraday in a minute. They got Goodnight. They got all these guys, just the baddest of the bad. The guys, one guy's nickname is the Angel of Death. Like, they are the guys, right? And they come riding into town. Everybody's looking and gawking at them. And they say, all right, everybody, this is where it starts. Now is your time to fight. They all looked around and, well, Chisholm, we're just a bunch of poor farmers. We can't We can't fight. I don't even know how to shoot a gun. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't defend our land. We need your help. We don't know what to do. Man, I can't do this without you. And if you want to leave right now, then leave. Well, we got plenty of days to figure this out, don't we, Chisholm? We got probably about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I figure by the way everything's going. He says, no. He says, we got 7 days. 3 days there to tell Bogue, 1 day for him to plan, and 3 days ride back. We have 7 days before this battle starts. So you make your choice now. Either you leave this town or you step up to the plate, and it's time to fight. Well, a few people left, and later that night, they all come walking up, and they had their knives and pitchforks, and barely any of them even had guns. So they had to find them guns, and when they went out to the range for the first time, all the townspeople started shooting, and they couldn't even hit a target. There was a line of 20 townspeople with guns, and they had 5 different targets out there, and they couldn't hit a single one. And they were thinking, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're going to get overrun. Holy shit, the days started rolling by. And eventually, the townspeople started getting better. They started practicing a little harder. They started practicing without the leadership of the Magnificent Seven. They started stockpiling and making barricades and working harder and harder. They knew what was coming on the horizon, but they decided that, fuck, even if we can't do it in our current form, even if I'm just a poor farmer, even if I don't think I measure up, somebody out there sees something in me and they need my help. The pain to remain the same of just a poor farmer became too great. Their land was being taken away from them. It was gone. So they decided to stand 10 toes down and say, I will fight. Here is my line in the sand. From hence you do not cross. And I will die for what I believe in. Talk about change. From broke, poor farmers to people willing to fight and battle for their own land, people who had never even fired a bullet before, willing to take one right in between the eyes for everything they love. You want to talk about change. Woo! And what about Joshua Faraday that I mentioned? Well, Faraday was one of the main characters, actually the second one you get introduced to. And he's kind of a drunk. He's kind of a gambler. Kind of a guy that loves to go about money and chase the fast cars, the fast women. He's one of them kind of guys, right? And you start to see that. They really put that on a pedestal throughout the movie. You see him sneaking booze and stealing a little money, and he's just this bad character, right? He's in the Magnificent Seven. He's part of the group, but he's like just a little, and he's always giving the Mexican shit, and he's talking shit to Goodnight, and he's always talking shit to Chisholm, and he's just a knife in everybody's side. And it comes to the very end of the movie where they brought in a Gatling gun, and the town battle's going on, and they're just destroying this town. And Faraday, he sees all of his boys pinned down, and he's the only one with a line. And he says, Chisholm, cover me. And he takes off running. And he gets on a horse, and he takes off straight towards the Gatling gun. Open field. And he takes a shot. He's riding. He takes another shot. But he keeps riding. He's riding. He's bleeding. He's hurting. Boom! Takes another shot, and he falls off the horse. You think he's dead. He's lying there in the field. And all of a sudden, he sits up and he looks at the guys. He reaches in his pocket, pulls out a cigar. He lights up the cigar, sits there, and he smiles. And he falls forward. And you think he died again. You think Joshua Faraday's story has come to an end. But when one of the guys who was on the Gatling gun comes down and goes to kick him, he raises up and he has a stick of dynamite in his mouth. And that fuse is going down. And he said, I've always been lucky with a one-eyed Jack. And he tosses it, and up explodes everything, and essentially ends the entire battle. The man who many people couldn't even trust, many people questioned, many people thought that he was just in it for the money. He just wanted some shekel, and as soon as he got done with the battle in the town, they were gone. He was taking his money. He was going and gambling again. He was the one that risked it all and saved the entire town. The one who was the outcast, the one who people didn't believe in. He could have kept doing the same things, but he took the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to be different. This is my chance. This is my time. This is my moment to save everyone. I'm going to do it. And you know, I started thinking about those stories and some things I took away from the Magnificent Seven. I thought about a quote that I heard a few years back from Ice-T. He said, "You don't guide life, you ride life. And if you want to lose, fight the future." Man, if that isn't true. The only constant thing in this life is change. The only thing you can ever be assured of is change, and you're never going to guide it. There are no crystal balls. You're never going to know what the future looks like. And as a matter of fact, you probably wouldn't want to know, because if you did, you wouldn't believe it. If somebody would have told me that a morning get together that didn't even have a name in a Discord entitled the Ether Brew Crew, was going to turn into Java and Jams, and then turn into Forge and Fuel, and turn into this and the Diamond Hand Media Group and everything we have, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have told you you are absolutely crazy. I didn't try to guide this. I've just rode this. I've stayed on the path, right? And I haven't fought the future. I've always stayed tapped into what's the next thing. And the next thing right now is community and information. And hello, what do you think we have here? Tell you what, I'll leave you with this. Change comes when you least expect it. Change comes when you're least ready for it. Change comes when you have it all figured out. It's that 90%, 8%, 2% that Andy Frisella loves to talk about. 90% of the time, you're not going to know what the hell's going on. The change is inbound. Oh my gosh, this is insane. 8% of the time, the change is on the horizon. Okay, I kind of got this figured out, but I still feel fucking insane. And the 2%, oh my gosh, I figured this out. Everything is great. But as soon as that comes, it is gone. And you are right back into the 90%. That 90% sucks. It's painful. It hurts. It's challenging. But can you change? Can you live through the hard? Can you make it easy, even when it's hard, to go back to yesterday? It always happens when you think you got it all figured out. But if you realize that you never have it figured out, it's always the process is the product. Getting 1% better every day, evolving every day is all you need to be concerned with. Bay. So be willing to change, be willing to evolve, and watch this world give you everything you ever imagined. What do you think, Swirl One?
I think I got to find the unmute button. I don't know who muted me, but I was like, hey, I was about to talk and I looked down, it's off.
Hey, I'll say this. How's it going?
Hey, hold on, I got this. Hey, I love what you're saying with the whole change thing, and I actually put it on my timeline this day. So if you're following me on the X app, I put on there, you don't need to be ready. You don't need to know everything. You don't need things to be perfect. All you need to do is commit. Stop waiting, start doing, right? And I really believe that everything Capp said is absolutely correct. Life changes when you don't expect it. And just when you think, oh man, everything is smooth sailing. We talked about it the other day. Everything's smooth sailing. Something's going to happen, right? Something's always going to throw, and it'll be the thing you don't expect at all. That like the least expected thing will happen. You're like, I didn't even notice that was going to happen, because that's life. There's always something that's going to pop up. It doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter how rich you are. Doesn't matter how poor you are. Doesn't matter how educated you are. No matter what happens, there's one thing that's going to be guaranteed. Everything you have is going to change. And it's something that, Capp saw that I wrote down a while back. And that's one of the biggest things. And Humble Warrior taught me this. And it's something that every time she says it at the end of a yoga session, I think about that. And it's a really big one. You got to think about this. Nothing is permanent. Everything is perfect. Think about that. Nothing is permanent. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you think. Hey, till death do us part, right? That's the vow. Okay. Well, that means it's not forever. Something's going to happen. I've seen people who have lasted 100, years together almost. And then I've seen people who lasted 2 years together, right? Sometimes it isn't till death do us part. Sometimes it's till one gets tired. True story. It's the actual truth, right? I'm just saying it. Above and beyond that, that job that you have, sooner or later, you're going to end up changing jobs, or you're going to leave that job, or you're going to retire from that job, or even the business. I went by a business the other day, and small town, looked like a nice business. And I think it was called D'Angelo's. It was like a pizza place. And you could say it was nice. Had a nice sign. Everything was cool. And on the sign, it said, hey, thank you very much for 35 years. We love to serve you. I'm sitting there thinking, 35 years. This person's been a part of this community for 35 years. And they closed their doors. And now there's this big empty building that everybody drives by. And I'm sure that guy still lives in that town or nearby, or somebody knows him, sees it. Hey, man, I see your spot all the time. How you been? You gonna open another one? Somebody probably liked going there for 35 years. It takes a lot. But for that person after 35 years to close their door and to go do something else, wow. That to me that's such a change. You don't know what to do. You're starting something brand new. The whole last 35 years, plus probably a few as you started getting this thing going. So let's call it 40 years. You've been walking in this same place doing something, then you finally leave there. And that's one of those things that I say too. And we all love our kids, but there's a lot of parents out there that live for their kids. And what are they doing? They're taking them to practice. They're doing all these different things. They're not investing in themselves. And then all of a sudden the change happens. They turn 18 and they go to college, or they finally go off to wherever. And now you're standing there. You don't have any more hobbies. You lost yourself. You don't know what's happened in life. And now all of a sudden everything has changed. And now you have to refine yourself again. I'll tell you something. My life has changed over and over and over again. And every time it's changed, I've never expected it. I've never expected it. When it came time for me to leave New Mexico, it just
505.
It just happened. Yeah, 505. Shout out 505, all my New Mexico folks. It just happened. I just had to leave. And it was something that I didn't expect. And then all of a sudden, boom, it happened. And then from there, I was like, man, I'm in this crazy wild city, Cleveland. I've never heard of this city. Don't know much about it. Man, I made a bunch of friends, love that place. And all of a sudden, boom, life changes again. Right. And now here we are. Right. It's just amazing how when you least expect it, things happen. That's why I always say, take care of the 4 or 5 things that you have to worry about on an everyday basis, because when those changes happen and when those things happen, you can always rely on the fact that you've covered your bases, and that when you go back to bed tonight, like last night, I got a lot of change coming in my life. It looks like I got things happening everywhere right now. I went to sleep and I slept well last night. I slept really good. I don't have anxiety from, oh my gosh, this or that's happening, because I know at the end of the day, I've set myself up to be in the right place, the right mindset, the right people around me. I've set myself up to handle the flat tire when that happens outside, right? So as long as you can do those things, it doesn't matter what changes happen. It's what happens to you. And I was talking to somebody last night about it, and talked about a couple different people. And one thing I can tell you about me is every time life has thrown me lemons, I don't make lemonade. I make lemon meringue pie. I make that shit sweet, fluffy, and very expensive. And then I sell it to somebody else because I got the lemons for free. That's what you need to do with your change.
Stick that in your perspective pipe and smoke it this morning. Hot damn. Hey, I was talking about you never expected it. And I thought of that quote we always talk about: under pressure, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. And are you getting better now? It just goes back to the 1% better every day, being willing to change every day, being willing to work on whatever little area you might be missing the mark every single day, because you're never going to know. You're not going to know when that next opportunity is around the corner. I mean, Diamond Hand Media Group, live in prime time. This was a company of 5 guys who were just focused on making social media content, right? And we just had a couple of YouTube shows, and one was in Australia, one in Utah, one in North Carolina, one in, I don't even fucking know, Jersey, and we were just going. And I had this vision of what this thing would be. And, we're going to make podcasts, and we're going to take over Web3, and we're going to be the epitome of content creation in Web3. Everybody's going to look to us. Well, I wouldn't even say I'm in Web3 anymore. DHMG is definitely not a Web3 company. The most I'm in Web3 is to support GACC and be around Swirl and be part of the GAC fam. That's it. I don't buy any other NFTs. I don't get involved with any other communities. I have no interest. A lot of people might see, still on X, I have my NFT as the profile picture. Same with Swirl. Well, it's because we believe in that thing. We support each other. I will always support Swirl. I don't know where this thing's going to go, but I know who's at the head of it, and I'm sure going to buy into it, right? And back to where DHMG, eventually those guys realized how hard it is to create content, how hard it is to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur until it's time to start doing entrepreneurial things. Until it's time to step up to the fucking plate, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. And then they don't realize that it takes getting up at 5 a.m. and staying up till 11 at night and getting it up and doing it again and wash, rinse, and repeat for maybe 30 fucking days straight with no rewards. Can you do that? Can you keep going forward 15, 16, 20 hours a day and you're not getting any rewards? You're not getting paid. Nobody's noticing you. Nobody's liking your content. Nobody's reposting your content. Nobody gives a damn about you, but you still keep posting anyway because you believe. You believe. What did Russ say? He said, so watch your tone. You're not even you enough to fuck with me. He was talking about having a vision. He said, you don't even have enough in your mind to chase after a vision that only you can see, that only you believe. So watch your tone. You're not even you enough to fuck with me. Can you chase after your own vision when there is no vision, when no one else sees it, when everyone else is saying, you probably shouldn't do that? J&J to Forge and Fuel. Can you still do it? Even though it's the hardest pain in the world, the vices of life are tightening down. You're thinking, oh my gosh, at any moment my head could pop off my body and I don't know what I'm going to do. Thank you, Deez. I appreciate that. Obviously, someone's paying attention. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's never expected. So are you going to work on you right now? Make sure you're checking the boxes right now. Like Swirl said, the 5 things right now. And like I said yesterday, maybe you got to take one of those things out of the forge and focus on it a little bit. Maybe you've been leaving your irons in the forge too long, just letting them melt down to nothing. And it's time to pull one out, get it on the anvil, and start beating away a little bit. Who's to say, who's to know, Swirl One? Am I tripping any triggers over there?
Oh, no, I don't know anything about, running a project for the last 24 months that, nobody cared about. Or, hey, I don't know nothing about doing that for 24 months and not getting paid. I don't know anything about showing up at 5 o'clock in the morning and then running a DJ party till 12 o'clock at night after handling all my day's business. None of that applies to me, just so you know. I'm just going to tell you. Are you kidding me? Are you ringing bells? I'm telling you, just bang them hammers, because this right now is exactly what I'm talking about. There's times when you're working on your life, your business, your health, whatever, and there's not going to be anybody there but you. Nobody to cheer you on, nobody to get you up, nobody to push you in that direction, and you're still going to have to do it. And when everybody else disappears and you get that bill for whatever you didn't expect because you're the business owner, you're like, well, I can't go give this to anybody. Guess what? I'm going to have to pay this. Okay. And you don't expect it. It's those kind of things, the change that I had to endure in order to become the lead greens, if you will. It still is. It's every day. It's always the vision I see is different from anybody else out there. And, I look at people and I think, hey, maybe they've got a good idea here and there, but I know a lot of them, they just come in and pop in and out whenever they see fit. I actually live in the greens. Like, I have to deal with it all the time. Like, if something doesn't happen, it's my fault. Right. And so regardless of what it is, and even Capp right now, he's, Mine and Shine Apparel. I mean, if he doesn't make a new design or click the buttons, there's not going to be another shirt, another sweatshirt, another flag, another anything. So it does take a lot of work to be able to consistently stay in front of all the business that you have. And sometimes that change of having let's just call it being an employee and going from, hey, I'm being told everything I need to do. Somebody's paying me. They're taking out all the taxes. They're handling all of that, to all of a sudden now I've got to handle all of that. That is a lot for most to handle. But you know how it works and how you start small. You start with one. Hey, I sold this. I did that. All of a sudden, okay, I understand. I did this. Keep the books on it, do all the different things. All of a sudden, as you get better, the 3rd, 4th, 5th year down the road, you become like the breadheads and you just start getting that word of mouth, and you just have people everywhere, talking the praises of what you have done with your change. And that's really what's happened. You saw really Kelly O's life change in front of everybody. And then all of a sudden now you wouldn't even know it. You would think she's more vibrant now than she was then. And she'd probably tell you the same thing. She probably is. And talk about Mama Cap, every year you get older, but the choice is yours whether you choose to stay that age or stay younger or grow older. A lot of people, like you said, they're 25, they're just waiting to get buried, right? I know people who are 30 years old that look like they're 60. I'm going to tell you right now, right? And then I can show you a guy that's 50 and 60 years old that I talked to just the other day. It was a guy at 53 years old I talked to at the Marriott. He looks just as young as Cap. As a matter of fact, he's more cut than Cap, if you can even believe that. So I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter who you are and what your age is. That doesn't have to dictate how you handle your life. The things that matter is what you do on a daily basis to change your life and how you make it better on a daily basis. Are you saving the extra dollar? Are you getting away from Starbucks? Are you making sure you're making your own food? Are you educating your kids the right way? Are you doing the right things to make sure that you learn something on a daily basis? Picking up books, picking up some weights, telling yourself not to be lazy, right? Handling those bills and paying a little extra every single time. Instead of looking at that and saying, hey, I think I could use that or want that, you look at it and say, hey, man, am I really going to use that? Because if you think about 90% of the things like we talked about in your house the other day, the things you buy, you just consume and throw away. So if it doesn't add to your education, add to your wealth going forward, or help you to create some wealth, some money, or something for your future, then do you really need it? Because it's going to collect dust over in the corner and you're just wasting resources on it. So when I say change, I literally mean that's every single day you have an opportunity and you have a second to say, hey, I'm going to either do this or that. That's the change. You got to pick the right thing every time.
150%. You said a 30-year-old that looks like 60-year-olds. Man, I was having a conversation the other day with this young cat at the gym. He's like, how old are you, man? I'm 28. You're 28? Yeah, man. He's like, bro, you look like you're 23. And I was like, well, that's what happens when you eat right and you take care of your body. You can do the same thing too, my friend. That's what we're doing here, right? And most people, they don't take care of their health. They don't utilize their time until they hit their deathbed. Until they hit their deathbed. And we're going to watch a video a little later on that's really going to bring some perspective to the deathbed. I think it's a video we need to watch on a Friday for sure. But it's just amazing that people just don't know the effort that this takes. I saw Mama Cap's quote, entrepreneurship is not for the weak. Mama Cap's been in the game for 35 plus years. She didn't know shit about fuck when she first got in the game. She was lost. She was trying to figure it out. She was a W-2 employee turned entrepreneur. And it was basically sink or swim. What are you going to decide to do? What are you going to stay up the late nights when you finally put your son to bed and work to grow the business and then get up early to get your son up to get him to school? Mama Cap, she is an example and a half of what it is to be an entrepreneur and what it is to keep building and pushing forward. If you guys have questions, if you're a member of the Diamond Hand fam, go ask Mama Cap. She knows a lot. She may act like she doesn't, but you just get her talking and she'll start giving you all types of insights. And it's funny, I started thinking about businesses, and for some reason, people think that when you're an entrepreneur and you own your own business, there's like some magic money tree that I have behind this thing here. There's like a magic money tree somewhere, and like whenever I need it, I just pull back the curtain and rip off a couple 100,000 and then can do whatever. There is no magic money tree. There is no magic anything. It's the exact same thing as if you're going to a W-2 job and getting paid. You just have more responsibilities. You just have to wear more hats. You are judge, jury, and executioner instead of just being executioner. You got to do it all. And that's where people quit. Me and DZ were talking about it the other day, right? I was like, hey, how's business going? What's happening? He's like, man, I see why so many people quit. Because you have to be a marketer, you have to be a salesman, you have to be a content creator, especially in today's day and age with the attention economy. Holy shit. If you're not pulling people's attention, good luck getting people's business. It's just the pure, blank, honest truth. You have to be able to know so much to start a business today. That's why so many people quit. And that's why it's so important to have a network. It's so important to have people around who have actually been there, done that, who have built the business and failed, who know what's the wrong thing to do. Hello, I've built a whole business that failed, fallen flat on its face. Stupid. Gone, done, zero. You can still look up Talking the Line Sports Media on X and Instagram to this day. Never deleted it. Never got rid of any of the account. You can look it up on YouTube too. You can go look up all the old content. It's still out there. I leave that stuff out there to show that I am not in this for money, likes, reposts. Now, don't get it twisted. I know you need a little shekel to make any type of change or any type of moves in this world. However, I am in this for change. I want to truly influence people. I want to be an influencer that when people do something great in their life, they say, because of Capp, I did. Because of Capp, I went forward. Because of Forge and Fuel, I did. Because of Capp and Swirl, I went and did this. Because of DHMG and GACC, I made this happen. That's what I want to do. That's the level of influence I want to bring. I don't want to be an influencer that's just pushing bullshit on the timeline and making you buy nonsense and buy into bullshit. I don't want to be that. I want to be somebody who fires you up, gets you going, and when the pain of life becomes too great, you just tap in and you realize, oh my gosh, this is just my opportunity to change. This is just my opportunity to become better. This is exactly what Capp and Swirl talk about all the time. I didn't expect it, but holy shit, they just talked about it, and now I'm ready to get better. I don't know, Swirl One. That's the type of influencer I want to be, man. How about you?
I wouldn't get up at 5 a.m. and get in here if I wasn't trying to change somebody's life. I wouldn't. I've got a lot better things to do than sit here and talk to myself. But the good thing is, like I said yesterday, whether it's just one person a day, one person a day. I know. That's what I said. One person.
You said talk to yourself.
Well, and I got two. I got you and DZ. So I already got a reason. So as soon as I get up, I'm already winning, right? So there's that. But I will say, I said it yesterday. If you just change one person's life and make it better, it's for the good. And even today, Capp talking this morning in his monologue, man, I got to tell you, I needed to hear all that too every single day. My life changes just as much as anybody else. I don't have it all figured out. I'd like to say I do, but the point being is that every time I think I got something figured out, life goes, oh, wait a minute though. You thought you mastered this game? Oh, by the way, this is level 421. And I'm like, oh no. Okay, well, let's open the door. And then all of a sudden I see a box of lemons. I'm like, all right, I know how to do this. Where's my meringue at? You know what I mean? I start just getting involved. That's the thing. I tell people, hell, hold my Tito's. I'll be right back. Right? I don't care what the change is. I don't care what life gives me. I know I'm here until God doesn't want me to be here. I know that I got to continue to get up every single day, regardless of who's president, regardless of who's my boss, regardless of who's not my boss, regardless of what company I'm running or not running, regardless of where I'm at, whether I'm on Spaces, I'm on this here, or I'm doing a DJ party like tonight. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I've got to give my best effort to every single moment I come to, because you know what? I don't want to wake up tomorrow, have the golden cord severed, and have to answer for what I did today if I didn't put it all on the table. What are you going to do with your life? You can't get up and go half-assed through this thing. You're not getting back this day. This day is never coming back. Friday, September 27th. That's it. You got till midnight. Are you going to start your workout today? Are you going to pay that bill today? Are you going to get up and start listening to positive things and turn off all of the bullshit that you're seeing out there? Because that's the change the world needs, is to make yourself better. When you can complete that 2-foot circle you actually inhabit, and that gets better, the people next to you want to get better because of that, because they look over and see examples of people who are not afraid to take life and just ride that sucker. That's where we're at. God is going to tell you so many different ways what you need to do. And when you don't listen, he's going to force your hand. And there's going to be times where you don't expect it, and you might say something, and all of a sudden he was listening. He goes, okay, that's what you think? You're okay with that? Okay. Bet. You said that. No, don't be afraid when it happens. Do not be afraid, right? That's the key. So careful what you try to say. When people say manifest, I think you're always talking to your creator and always saying things. And when you say things out loud and it matches the plan goes in motion, because now you are now aware internally that it's happening. And whether that plan goes the way you think it is or a different way, the plan's coming. So you got to watch out for that. So when you say something, realize it holds weight. When you do something, realize it holds so much more weight than anything else out there. Get up. Don't just stand there. Do something.
Come on, Swirl One. You're gassing me up over here, dude. Matthew 24, verse 36 states, however, no one knows the day or hour when these things will happen, not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself. Only the Father knows. Only the Father knows. You're never going to know. Nobody knows. You're not going to know the hour. And what they're talking about right there is when Jesus is coming back. That's what that means. But put it into terms of what we're talking about today. You're never going to know when that change is on the horizon. You never know when that massive bill is going to come. You never know when that loss in the family is going to happen. You never know when you're going to get fired because you accidentally said the wrong thing, because today's HR world is fucking insane. So are you ready for when that change comes? Under pressure, under change, you do not rise to the occasion. You sink to the level of your training. And I want to read a little something as we wrap up the first segment of the day here, a little sharpening session. I just opened up my book. I didn't have an opportunity to get into this book this morning during a little prayer and meditation. I thought this tied in pretty well. If y'all would join me in prayer for just a quick moment. Lord, this life is uncertain. I don't know what the future holds for my job, my family, my health, or my bank account. The cares of this world distract me from following you with my whole heart. Remind me today that I can face each day with confidence, since you always go before me. My life is in your hands. Help me to believe you are good. You never let your children fall or beg for bread. Comfort me with your promise to go out in front to prepare good things for my future. No sin or shame of the past, and no mistakes or mess I will make today will turn you away. I praise you for hope, patient forgiveness, and your constant watch over my life. Amen. Come on! If you ain't fired up!
It's powerful, bro. I'm telling you, it's powerful. And you got to ask for that, because when you're in the midst of it, you get a lot of people in Florida right now going through this hurricane. I saw a video of this guy that was sitting in his living room on a kayak. So, I mean, you know what I mean? You got to kind of look back at everything and realize, you know, regardless of what your circumstance is, it could always be worse. And that guy, at least he has a kayak. He's at least inside his living room. And I mean, I sat there and thought to myself, like, what would I do? And I'm like, I'd probably just sit in the kayak too. I mean, what are you going to do, you know? And hey, you've got to make the best out of all these situations, regardless of what it is. And really what you're asking for when you say a prayer like that, or when you try to manifest things, if you will, is you're asking for hope. You're asking for something to change your life and to move yourself in the future. It is okay to get stagnant in your life and say, you know what, I need help. When you say that, just be careful that when you put out that energy will find you. It will find you. And that could come in a way of, oh, shit, I got fired. Or, oh, shit, hey, you got to go do this. Or, oh, by the way, you know, this is what happens here or there. And now all of a sudden your whole life flips because you got a brand new team. You got a brand new boss. I don't know. Who knows? Life could be anything. So I always look at, every time I get up, there's one thing I can guarantee is if I'm watching out for that 2-foot circle right here, everything else that happens around me, I'm just going to roll with those punches, baby, because you know what? I'm just glad to be on the roller coaster of life. And if I'm not putting my hands up and going down like this, and I'm holding on tight as I'm going down like that. So either way, we're along for the ride, baby. That's all I got to say.
We're along for the ride, and maybe you should stop white knuckling life. Yeah? Mama Capp said that the other day. Stop white knuckling life. What does that mean? When you're on the roller coaster of life, let go of the fucking handles and fucking let go. Put your hands up. Enjoy it. Have fun. Stop white knuckling your way through life, just gripped on so strong. What's the quote? You don't guide life, you ride life. And if you want to lose, fight the future. I heard that from Ice-T on a Web3 NFT sales space. You can learn anything anywhere if you just keep your ears open. You might learn something crazy. Who's to say, who's to know? But man, talk about a first segment of the show, baby. We in the forge. We in the forge. And we're getting it fueled up one time for the one time. Shout out to all you beautiful humming beans. I saw I saw a question come out. I'm excited for that. Make sure you take note of that, D's, if you didn't see that. Also, I want to pop this up there. Why do you two still call yourselves influencers? To me, you guys are inspirational speakers because you don't influence me, you inspire me to be better. Shout out,
Yeah,
Jeff.
I don't like the word influencer anyway. I don't use that desk cap,
Make
but
some great-
I don't. I definitely want to be somebody who inspires, but I just want to be a good leader to people, man. I just want to be a good human being. I don't care about the rest.
I learned that here. Shout out, Kelly, yo. I appreciate you. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right, my friends. That's your first segment of the day. That's your sharpening session talking about change, baby. The only constant in this unconstant life. How about we keep this proverbial showboat surfing the waves of change as we slip and slide into the second segment of the day, your reaction refinery. Wow. Oh, shit. Sorry, we're back. My bad. Sorry, I be getting into that beat sometimes. It just made me feel good. Who's to say? Who's to know? But I got 4 clips on tap today. Short ones today. Not anything longer than 30 seconds, I do not believe. We got some words from the legendary Nipsey Hussle. We got some words from our good friends Chris Williamson and Alex Hormozy. Shout out to the fellas. Would love to have both of those guys on this show someday. We're going to say hello to Pastor Rick Warren. If you don't know, you won't know, but this one's got some heat. And then we're going to say hello to a man who inspired my motivational journey. One of the first videos I ever found that really got me going and pursuing forward. My man, the legendary Inky Johnson, will wrap us up today. So let's get started on our clips, dive into the reaction refinery, see what type of additional perspective we could stir up today. First clip on tap is from the legendary Nipsey Hussle, money-making Nips. R.I.P. to the legend. He's going to tell us about true greatness.
My mentality when I do start to be like, damn, this is a lot. That's what it's supposed to feel like. If you are going toward what the vision look like, and that's like greatness. Like this shit ain't supposed to feel comfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to be a burden to a degree. You gotta wrap your mind around that and accept it and embrace it. And you catch some wisdom off of that.
You catch some wisdom off of that. It ain't supposed to feel good. It ain't supposed to feel comfortable when you're actually doing it and you have that moment where, oh my gosh, this is all too much. And I was just going through that a couple of weeks ago. Oh, this is way too much. Why do you think I keep talking about having too many irons in the forge? Because I did. And I decided to take one out and start beating on, okay, we need to form this motherfucker a little bit more. Okay, we ain't been focusing on this. Oh, shit. Now I realize I forgot about, okay, you go back in there. I got to take you out. Okay, focus on you, right? And sometimes you just have so much going on that it just feels like, oh my gosh, the walls are closing in, the vices of life, the shit's hitting the fan. Oh no, what do I do? I'll tell you what you do. You go find that door. You go open that door because that room that you're currently in, you have outgrown. You have become better than that room. You are bigger than that room, and you are better than that room. And it is time for you to go find your next door. And here's your kicker. When one door closes, another door opens, but sometimes it's hell in the hallway. You got to go walk through that hallway. You got to get out of the door. You know how to get out of the door. You know exactly what you need to do to open that door to get into the hallway. You just don't want to go to the hallway because that's where you got to look at yourself. You're alone. There's no lights. It's only you and your thoughts. And oh my gosh, am I ever going to find this next door? Holy shit, I haven't seen light in months. I don't know what I've got to do. That's how it feels. If you keep walking in that moment, maybe you just might find that next door handle. Who's to say who's a no-swear one?
Shout out Nipsey. I actually have a VIP badge right over there because I got to open up for Nipsey Hussle back in the day in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And shout out Leo's, if you know, it's a really hood little spot. But yeah, I got to DJ over there that night. He was there. It was pretty badass, actually. And he was a legend then, but nothing like now, obviously. But man, shout out to Nipsey. And I'll say he's absolutely correct. It should be overwhelming. And generally, every time I've ever had a major change in my life, it was completely overwhelming. Talk about burning the boat. You know, I've talked about it on Java and Jams before when I left. Everything I've known in New Mexico for you know, a place that was massive. It was more than most anything I've ever seen, and just started thriving down there, you know, talking about, you know, leaving where I was growing a DJ business and where everybody knew me and I had friends and family, and I couldn't go to any place and not be able to see a familiar face, to go into a spot where nobody knew me whatsoever and having to spend a year and a half, 2 years and getting back in the scene and doing all the different things and relying on myself to say, hey, maybe it was my connections that got me into those shows and into that club or whatever. But no, when I got to Cleveland, I had no choice. I had to stand on my own 2 feet, stand on business, right? And so I ended up doing it all by myself. And next thing you know, within 2 years, man, I had my own residency. I had friends everywhere. I was connecting with people that were on a whole different level, because that's what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to be overwhelming. It's supposed to be next level. You are going to see things that you don't expect. You're going to have things happen to you that you don't see coming. And you're going to be like, damn, there's a lot. Man, I didn't know that was coming. There's a whole bunch going on right now. You know, I know somebody who just moved over to Tucson and is in Tempe or somewhere in that area. And man, all of a sudden it's a whole culture change, you know, brand new job, brand new everything. Situations change. And all of a sudden now you are literally drinking from a fire hose. Maybe you've heard that before. I use that term a lot, because a lot of times that's what it feels like when you're changing in life. You're trying to catch as much as you can, and you're getting tons of information, but your brain can only calculate and take and diagnose so much of that at one time. So while you're changing, just understand you're not going to catch it all. You're going to have to go back and read that book again, take a lot of notes, take a lot of time to be present. And like we said yesterday, put them toes in the sand and make sure that you're paying attention to all the different things, because all those little things that are happening, all that dopamine is coming from everywhere because it's brand new. That's the stuff you're going to have to catch the right little pieces and get what's most important. And then later on, you can start filling that bucket with that sand and everything else that you find from the peripheral. So it is supposed to be hard. It's not easy. And I love what Nipsey said there. That's what the vision is, seeing the vision, being on that path. The path we talked about yesterday is not easy, but you're going to come across chasms, and you're going to come across a place to get water, and you're going to come across a friend like Capp. You're going to come across people that will help you along the way. But the only thing I can guarantee you, and we talked about the hell in the hallway, and I've talked about my experiences in that one place in Miami, the hallway's big. If you're down, nobody's coming. I promise you. You can look left and right. Nobody's coming down that hallway to come grab you. You'll just sit there until you finally stand up and start moving and trying to find a door.
This ain't Pokemon, bro. This ain't Pokemon, bro. You're not going to catch them all. Who's to say? Who's to know? There's your quote of the day. This ain't Pokemon, bro.
I never Pokemon, bro. I never did that.
I would never got into the whole thing, you know, the whole fucking ride around town and, oh, there's a Squirtle over there. I never really understood that whole deal.
All I've ever done is really grandpa's, bro. That's all I've ever really done.
Yeah, all I've pretty much ever done is this. I'm just here, live in the flesh. Who's to say? Who's to know? Shout out Nipsey Hussle, man. If you don't know, you won't know. We just trying to hustle and motivate. How about that one time for the one time? Let's get into the second clip of the day, my friends. Couple of friends of the program, a couple of fellas that have given me some great perspective, helped me grow my mentality, given me a little modern wisdom, if you will. Shout out to the legend Chris Williamson and also the equally legend Alex Hermosi. If you don't know, you won't know. These two guys are crushing the motivational space right now. So we got a little video from them too. The first guy you're going to see is Chris. If you don't know, you won't know. The British bloke. He is the British bloke there. And then Alex is just the regular American guy. This one here is the biggest risk towards your future.
Risk to your future isn't your competition. It's the distractions you insist on keeping in your life rather than doing the things you know you should be doing but aren't.
There have been so many times in my life where I knew I needed to do something, and then I filled all this extra time not doing that thing. And then the moment I did it, I was like, wow, that took way less time than I thought it was going to take. And not only that, it took way less time than it took me to delay to actually get to this point. And if I had only started with just doing what I was supposed to do, I could have done 4 or 5 other things that I was also supposed to do by this exact same point. And so thinking about it from that perspective, I've tried to eliminate as much time between I think I should do this thing and beginning doing it. And I think you get this positive reinforcement cycle that occurs. I call it pulling the thread. It's like, I just need to start pulling the thread. And then all of a sudden what feels really unknown becomes very tangible. And you're like, oh, I understand the 6 problems I have to solve to do this big thing, but now I know the problems, and then it feels like you can wrap your arms around it, and then you can start taking it one bite at a time.
Bro, I cannot tell you. That's massive right there. The pull the thread. Hey, start somewhere. The whole, hey, how do you eat an elephant? Oh, you one bite at a time, right? Hey, I don't even say that. You got to start with a knife and a fork, buddy, because you got to have the tools to get in there first off, right? So let's start there. But he's absolutely right. You know, there's something about that time of, hey, I need to do something, and hey, I'm gonna go do it. That's a big one. That's what I talked about yesterday. I'm not lazy. I'm not lazy. When you say, hey, I'm not lazy, and you tell yourself and remind yourself, you'll get up and start doing something right then. You won't even wait. You'll be like, oh man, I got to get this done. I got to get my laundry done. Okay, well, I'm going to get it done today because I don't want to do it I usually do it on Sundays. Well, I hate doing it on Sundays because I always try to do something now. I'm always waiting. But if I do it right now, I don't have to deal with it then, right? And that's the thing that he's trying to talk about right there. Is once you know and identify the things that you're trying to go for, you got to start somewhere in order to find where the fail points are. You got to start somewhere to find out where your weaknesses are so that way you can start to work on them, or so that way you can learn more about that area. We talk about DZ a while ago, talking about, hey, I don't know what I got to be, and I got to be a social media guru. I got to be somebody that creates the content. I got to be the person on the screen. Not only that, bro, you got to be your own accountant, your own tax guy. You got to understand all the different back end things on it. You got to make sure that you're your own assistant, right? Because you see all these different things come through. You got to handle it all. It is not easy, but the thing is, once you start to tackle it and you start to understand the rhythm of how everything works, everything becomes easier in front of all of the things that you used to think were hard. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, wait a minute. That was easy. I did this last year. How did I do it? Let me look at my notes. Oh, it's like this. Okay, I got that. But then, like we keep talking with this, that'll level up, especially as you scale your business or as you hire more people or as you have a bigger project. All that will scale. You got to remember all the things you learned from all those other little problems can be applied to those bigger problems. Again, you just got to start taking it one bite at a time. Just start unraveling the sweater and you'll find what you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that pulling the thread too. That really got me. And I love what you said in there, man. I've said it at the beginning of the week. I'm one of the laziest motherfuckers you will meet. If you give me 8 hours with nothing to do, I will do it. You better believe it right now, live in prime time. But what I said yesterday, you're not tired, you're uninspired. And that's a Swirl One original. That ain't my quote. That's a Swirl One original, baby. That might have gone out by me on the timeline, but that's a Swirl One original. All right. Look, I have to say it to myself all the time. You're not tired. You're uninspired, dumbass. Let's go. Hey, you're not lazy. Let's go. Come on. It's time to get with it. Sometimes I just got to let out a, woo! Come on. Come on, bitch. Let's go. We got to be a beast of bitch today. I say that to myself all the time. I go look in the mirror. I say, what are we going to do today? You going to be a beast or you going to be a bitch? What's your choice? What's your choice? You going to be a beast or you going to be a bitch? I say that to myself all the time. I get under the weight. I go pick up some 80-pound dumbbells. I put them bitches on my knee, about to pick them up, do some incline press. I say, beast or bitch. We're going to be a beast of bitch right now. What's your choice? What's your choice, right? And it goes back to what DZ said a long time ago. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Go forward. Push forward. Keep doing it. You know what you need to do. Keep pulling the thread. One thing at a time. Do the hard things first. Eat the frogs, man. What Hormozy's literally talking about there is when you have the opportunity to eat the frog, you go and you pick up the PlayStation controller. You have the opportunity to eat the frog and you go and you throw your hands in your pants and watch 5 episodes of Netflix. That's what this is. Are you picking up the tools, eating the frog, or are you just waiting until another one jumps on the plate and another one and another one, and then all of a sudden you got a fucking frog family that you don't even know how to eat through? I don't know, Swirl One. I feel like we're into something this morning, boy.
Well, I told you about the client. I was in his office the other day, and he literally asked me, hey, what's the difference? Why is this so much different right here? And I'm literally, hey, we didn't bring any magic pens. There's nothing special about what we're doing. But when everybody in the world inside your business just becomes complacent and lazy, what do? They have no problem talking about the fantasy football that happened. They don't have a problem talking about what's going on downtown. They don't have a problem. But you know what's different? When my people go in, they don't care about all that. You know what they care about? Creating something, making something happen. They are literally, I talk about it, and this is a Capp thing. Wash the dishes while washing the dishes, right? That's a real deal. Like, you should be doing what you're supposed to be doing at the time you're supposed to do it. And if you're doing anything else at that time, what he's saying is exactly that. You're not taking care of what you're supposed to be doing. In that time, you're scrolling the social media. You are doing something with the YouTube. You are calling or texting somebody. You're looking for an excuse to not dive into whatever it is. When that happens, you should remind yourself that I'm not lazy. I've got to handle this. And just like he said, if you give yourself 2 hours to clean your house, it'll take you 2 hours. Now, if you say I'm going to clean it by Friday, you'll wait till Friday and you'll clean it on Friday in 2 hours. So it's up to you how you want to handle it. It's just you have to put that in front of yourself and say, I'm just going to stop everything. I'm going to handle this first because I know when this is done, any change that comes my way, I'll be prepared for because that task is already done.
Damn. I love when our old messages tie into our new messages and everything just gets the flow and drop the bombs, baby. That's how I'm feeling inside right now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I told you I woke up fired up this morning, man. I was 5 o'clock in the morning. You should have seen me in the green room this morning. I had it going and they couldn't hear it. I had my headphones. They were like, swirl. I was on 1,000. I don't know why. And this doesn't happen very often. But in my dream last night, that song, Yeah, Glow, was actually in my dream. I can hear myself. Yeah, Glow. Yeah, Glow. Yeah, Glow. And I don't know why.
For a little hope play with me, I go eat some jail food.
But that song was banging in my head. And I mean, not just accident. It was like ringing in my head. So, yeah, crazy. Wow.
Oh, hey. Little dream scenario. Shout out D's. Hey man, this guy's got that doggone soundboard on lock back there. Who's to say, who's to know? Holy hell, what a great perspective from that little video there from Mr. Williamson and Mr. Herr Mosey. We got some more to react to, kids. Holy smokes, we're stirring up insights. We're stirring perspective. If you ain't got shit burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul, you're out of your mind. If you ain't got notes down, you're crazy. You're wasting your time. And if you got something burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul, you got a question. You want something answered. You want some perspective from the boys. Drop it in the comment section over there, and we'll dive in the final segment of the day. But we keep steaming along on the second segment of the day, and we dive into our third clip. This is a clip from the legendary Pastor Rick Warren giving a commencement speech about your deathbed.
Stood at the bedside of maybe thousands of people as they took their last breath. What people say in their final moments is pretty important. They don't mess around. When people are dying in their last words, nobody has ever said, Pastor Rick, bring me my trophies. I want to look at them one more time. Or even bring me my college graduation certificate. I want to look at it one more time. When people are dying and they know their time is short, what they want in the room is not things or trophies or achievement. What they want are the people they love. Eventually, we all figure out that it's all about love. It's all about relationships. I just pray you'll figure it out a whole lot sooner.
Woo!
You know what, bro? I'm gonna tell you, and it's just last night we had the meeting, and Grammy P was talking about how you FaceTime her on Saturdays and
Sundays, but yes,
Sundays. Sorry, please forgive me, but so my grandma's very old, and she doesn't have a phone that can FaceTime. And truth be told, she knows who I am, but again, she's dementia, all that kind of good stuff. So she's very, very old. And I think to myself, man, every time I get an opportunity to say hi to her, I do. But it's tough to call her because sometimes she just turns her phone off and such. So, I can appreciate the fact that you have that relationship with your grandma. And I think that's very important to keep doing that. Shout out Grammy P. She's amazing. And she does a great job in the prayer that she does for us at the end of that meeting. But to that point, I have been around a lot of people who have passed in my time. And one of the biggest ones that's passed in my, recent history is my grandfather. And man, I tell you what, that was a great guy. And at the end of the day, he was surrounded by his family and he had people around. And that's really the best thing you can ask for. The one thing I always worry about, and it's partly because I'm a vagabond, because I'm always all over the place. I've already said I'm not being buried anywhere. I don't want nobody to put me in a box. The whole box thing, that's not how I'm going. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right? So don't put me in a box. This right here says don't put me in a box. And So I always think about this. Hey, at the very end of my life, like what's going to happen? Who's going to show up? I hope nobody shows up. I really hope that you guys just let me go into wherever I got to go. And I don't need anybody to go to a place when they start looking at the ground and worrying about that. You know, I've done all I can for a lot of people all over the country. Everywhere I've gone, I try to change people's lives. Many of them I'll never know their names. Many of them I never asked their names or cared. I just was trying to make sure I showed that love. So I know at the end of the day, I've changed a lot of people's lives and I feel good about it. That's why I've said, hey, I know where I'm going. So I'm not afraid of today. I'm not afraid of change. I'm not afraid of things that happen because at the end of the day, my creator knows I've been trying hard and I do fail. But I promise you, I'm trying to make sure that I show every single day, every single person that I come in front of, that there's light inside of me and that they can have that same light. And I'm trying to give you some of my smile and my energy. And I think that's what's most important because even at the end of life, if you can look back and say, you know what, I treated everybody I possibly could have with the most respect possible, I think you'll be fine. And yes, I would love to have my family around if that's the case, but I can't hope and pray that that would be the case because you never know how you're going to go, man. I might say I'm going to go to Mars and not make it. So you never know. You can't take your family to Mars and you're going to Mars, baby. So, you know, that's just the way I feel about it. You never know what's going to happen. So I'm ready today. I'm ready tomorrow. And I'll tell you this, I'm going to take care of today and everybody I get in front of so I don't have to worry about what happens when I get to that point.
Talk about losses and you talk about my GP. You know, one of my biggest losses that I recently went through was just about a year ago. We actually just crossed the anniversary date last week, a week and a half ago. For those of you that don't know, my father passed away last year, and my biological father, my birth father, and it was something that I really struggled with. I've had to do a lot of healing. I've had to look myself in the mirror a lot. I've had a lot of late nights of crying and arguing and fucking what the fuck and da 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 da. So if you've had that too, I've been right there. And I'll tell you why I call GP every Sunday is because of how much it means to me. It may mean the world to her, but we talked about it a little bit last night. You know, when I get an opportunity to just, hey, tell me about a time when, and just sit back and listen, that means the world to me. I don't know shit. She's lived 88 laps around this sun on this floating rock or flat plane, whatever. I don't know shit about fuck. I just want to learn. And I realize how many of those moments I may have wasted with my father or may have wasted with those who have passed on that I really cherished and I really loved. So I don't waste those moments now. And I make sure to take even 30 seconds to just reach out to the people that I love. And I tell you how much it means to me to have my family involved with DHMG, to have my mom, my GP, and my Aunt Donnie involved with this entire fam, and to have everyone know them by name and have them as leaders, in my company, in my community. That's insane. Those three women were there on the day that I was born. And shout out to you three. I appreciate you. I'm sure you're all three watching this together right now, probably. Who's to say, who's to know on Mama Capp's birthday? But it just means the world to me. And you know, I think about, you know, when my dad passed away, he didn't have people around him and he didn't have friends. And the friends he thought he had were total fucking assholes. And they totally turned their back on him. And anybody who he thought he had was gone. So maybe it's a time right now to start checking up from the neck up with your friends, your family, and most importantly, you. Because I don't want you to get to your deathbed and say, fuck, I wasted this time. Son of a bitch. I should have done that. Oh, man. I probably should have had that conversation. I probably should have been a better son. Should have been a better brother. Should have been a better father. I don't want that for anybody who hears my voice, who tunes into this show, who is a part of DHMG. It's what it is, baby. We're all going to hit that deathbed one day, but I'm not going to be visiting the ghost of my past when I'm on mine. I'm going to say, thank you. I know where I'm going. Take me away, baby. I'll see you soon at them pearly gates. And all I'm aiming for when I walk up to those babies is simple words. Well done, good and faithful servant. It's all I need. It's all I need. And all it comes down to is love. Love and relationships. And it's not love. Oh, I love you so. Oh, I love you so much. Nah, bro. I got love for Swirl. I got love for D's. I take a bullet for both these two motherfuckers. I jump in front of a fucking train. I got love for all the Diamond Hand fam. I might not say it all the time. Oh, I love you guys. But I take a bullet for any of you guys. I do anything to make sure we have success and we keep pushing forward and we find what we're all searching for. I do anything for it. And I'm going to make it happen before I hit my deathbed. You better believe it. Who's to say, who's to know? Damn, great perspective from Pastor Rick Warren there. Hit your deathbed one time. Let's get to the final clip of the day. This one here is something that has inspired a lot of my messages, has inspired me to shift my mindset and my perspective. If you guys don't know, you won't know, but this guy, he was one of the first dudes that I found in the motivational lanes. I listened to him tell a story, a life-changing story that took him away from being one of the highest sought-after collegiate athletes to never playing a down of football again. This man is Inky Johnson, and today he's going to tell us a little bit about what's more important, what you acquire or who you become.
Being driven by rewards. Stop being driven by outcomes. Stop being driven by, if I get this, I'm going to do this. Just work. And if you don't get what you thought you were going to get, show up and still go to work.
Yep.
Because along the process, what's more important, what you acquire or who you become? And a lot of people think what they acquire is the thing that makes them who they are. No, it's who you become in the process of chasing what you want to acquire.
God bless America, bro. That's the truth right there. And we talk about it all the time. The process is the product. That's really what it comes down to. You have to fall in love with the process of getting better every single day, because once you've gotten to the pinnacle of that business, one or two things is going to happen. You're going to get bored or sell it, and then you're going to need to do something else. And then what? You're going to have to buy another one, start again, do it over again, whatever it might be. But that's the thing. It never stops. There's always another peak. You're never going to be done with this life. The bus of life continues to keep moving on. You're not going to get to a place and go, oh, I made it. That's it. I can put in the towel. I'm done. Even when you get retired, you have to do something with your life, because you know what they say, people who get retired, who've been doing things for so long, all of a sudden they wither away and die when they stop moving, right? We're all sharks, really. It's the truth. We got to do something with our life. We got to do something meaningful. If not, we are 25 and waiting to be 75 to get buried. That's what's happening. He's absolutely right. And he should know, because like Capp said, never got to see the greatness that he thought he was going to have in the NFL, right? And everybody thought, oh, once you become in the NFL, you're going to get everything you want in life. Hey, I'm going to get the cars. I'm going to get to this. I'm going to be in the lights. I'm going to be rocking on Sundays. All of that's going to happen, right? None of it happened. But you still know that man's name. That's the difference. Who he became because of his circumstances, a better story than who he would have become if he would have went to the NFL. There's a couple things that can happen. You go to the NFL. Yeah, you might win a Super Bowl and be known as a champion, but there's a lot of guys that don't. Yeah, you might get to the end of that career and actually retire, but there's a lot of guys that don't. You might actually get in that game and have something happen to you in the first couple of games of the season and never play again. And then everything you thought you worked for, it didn't happen. A lot of people would lose themselves because, oh man, I lost my dream to be an NFL star. But it's not the case. That's just a part of the journey. That's the first step. Inky Johnson didn't stop because he didn't become an NFL star. As a matter of fact, 90% of the NFL stars out there look up to Inky Johnson for his strength and his tenacity and the perseverance that he's been able to have. So is that what you have in your life? Is that the way your family can look at you? Is that the way your friends can look at you? Can they look at you and say, you know what? No matter where Swirl's gone, no matter what's happened to him, no matter what situation he's got in, every time they throw him lemons, he turns around and makes lemon meringue pies. Can they say that about you?
That's what I'm going after. I say it all the time. You said it. The process is the product. Who you're becoming, what you're acquiring, and not physical, tangible items of acquiring, but knowledge and mentality and willing not to quit, and maybe better relationships and better people in your corner, whatever it might be. So many people, he said at the beginning, stop being driven by rewards. Everybody's driven by rewards and the trophy, and here's your cookie in our fucking handout society we have. Everybody wants
Capp. Sell it all, bro.
Sell it all. I don't fucking need it. All I need is this sweet little camera, this little microphone right here, and a couple of cords, and you can have the rest of it. I don't fucking need it. I got a lot of shit in this condo that I probably don't even need. I probably could just make it off all day long without half of this shit, right? And I think, wow, I have acquired a lot in my short years, but man, maybe I've become a lot more. I've become a lot more in these last 2 years. Whoa. Whoa. Isn't that wild? Maybe you can become a whole lot more in a short period if you just focus on becoming instead of acquiring. And if all you focus on acquiring, if you never reach your goal, that's why it seems to take so long, because all you're worried about is just acquiring. And if you just focused on becoming, it would shorten the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Who's to say? Who's to know? What a damn revelation that thought is right there. Welcome to the Forge and Fuel Show, baby.
Bro,
Come
I gotta
on.
tell you. So it just hit the timeline as I'm sitting there because I got the timeline going live. But shout out Jesse Itzler, who actually coined the bus of life thing that I watched. If you know about his discussion on that, it's so powerful. But here's what he just posted 21 minutes ago. Not into cars, not into jewelry, not into cigars, not into fancy meals, not into clothing, into pushing limits and trying to do epic shit. There are people out there that have every reason to go. This guy's you have no idea how successful this guy is. And yet he's still out there trying to become something better every single day. The guy runs ultra marathons, does cold plunges, does all kinds of, he's got a crazy story. So if you pay attention, hell, he was a rapper at one time, writing jingles for the NBA teams. Like, it's just a crazy life that he's got going on. But there it is right there. So not into cars, just saying that stuff is real. That's what you're trying to do. It's not about what you can acquire. It's who you become.
Damn straight. Not into cars, not into jewelry, not into cigars, not into fancy meals, not into clothing, into pushing limits and trying to do epic shit. I fuck with this philosophy. Look at Felipe down there. I fucks with it heavy too, Felipe. Shout out to you, Jesse. Appreciate the additional content on our show, man. Maybe you might see this out on the timeline. Who's know? We might have to tag old Jesse. Shout out, Mr. Itzler. We appreciate you, guy. Man, there's your 4 clips of the day. There's your reaction refinery, baby. Hey, I've been seeing a few comments in the section today. I've been seeing a couple things we got to get into. So, my friends, we keep this proverbial show train steaming down the tracks of change as we slide into the final segment of the day, the final show of the week, the last bit of vibes. Tap in one time for the one time, because it is officially time for your answers from the Anvil. Wow, GP sent Swirly D a little message in the live chat. You see it down there?
Love Grammy, man. She's awesome. Shout out.
She is
She's
the
amazing.
bomb.com. We love GP. All right, my friends, it's time to answer some questions from the live chat. Pull up any great quotes or additional perspective shifters that we can find along the day. So, our Mr. Producer, DWEZYY, slap up that Jeff Oglesby question. Yeah, we're on the same page. Let's go, my guy. Jeff Oglesby says, question, you win the lottery, $1 billion. How and what do you do to change your life?
You asking me first? Okay, I'll go. I'm down. All right.
I know you like this.
First off, you're only going to get like 40% of that shit. So you're going to come away with like 400 billion. So there's that right there. Okay? And then understand this. After I've retired all the friends that are important to me and my mom and dad and sent them wherever, I'm probably going to have a lot less than that. Because just remember, whatever you get them, they're going to get taxed on too. So if you want to give them $1 million, you got to give them two, right? So you got to understand that. So you're already going to give a bunch of that away right off the bat. Next up, I would buy a country club for the Grandpa Apes, and we would have a place where everybody's membership would work. So you go there, and the only way you can play that golf course is how? By having a Grandpa Ape. So that would be the biggest thing that we would do there. Above and beyond that, I would also start a foundation for the rest of my family going forward. So that way there wouldn't be anybody else in my bloodline that would ever have to worry about money. And I wouldn't do it in a way of saying, hey, each one of them gets $1 million. But once they hit a certain age, 23, 30, they would get something good. So they'd still have to experience life, do certain things and get to that point to make that happen. And above and beyond that, for myself, I probably would sell every single thing I have and travel the entire world and see everything there is. And then I'd probably, retire in Belize or something for pennies on the dollar and just sit back and fish with my dad on the beach. That's pretty much what I would do. So there you go.
I like the perspective. I'm on the same thought track as you. Am I really going to see all that billion? That was the first thing I thought. I'm probably not even going to see that. So then what the hell do we do if I only got about 40% of it? I thought, yeah, I want to retire the boys. I want to make sure the boys are taken care of. I want to make sure the family's taken care of. They got everything straight. I'm tired of seeing old Jones work. He's too damn old to be sitting under that welder and welding hood. I'm fucking tired of that shit. Oh, I like what? No, you don't. Stop it. You're fucking too old to be doing that work. I want to retire him and Mama Capp. Then I'd go and I'd find us a nice big old piece of land. I'm talking 100 acres plus. I'd buy that son of a bitch and I'd stick a stake in the ground that says Diamond Handsville and I'd start building up. I'd get some people in there to get some water running. I'd get some people in there to get the town store going. I'd get some people. Oh, maybe JK could even run the grocery store. Who's to say, who's to know? And I'd get that Diamond Handsville going and pumping. I'd make sure anybody who needs a little something, who's ready to pursue their passions, go on their journey. Maybe they need a little help. Maybe they need a little nest egg. So we'd have some conversations about that too. And then I think, after I got that stake in the ground and after everything started looking pretty good, I might take a week or two off. Because as Russ said, I need a break, but I'm probably never going to get one. I need a break. I just been working, making a chance come. I need a break before I lose all of my marbles. Break. That's kind of how I feel. So I'll probably take about a 2-week break, go visit some nice sites, maybe see some wonders of the world. And then we'd be back at Diamond Handsville rebuilding again. That's what I'd do if I won $1 billion.
I'd still keep doing the show though.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. I'd still, we'd make that happen one way or another, live in prime time. $1 bills, y'all. One time for the one time. Shout out, Mr. Producer. We appreciate you, good sir. What else do we got out there question-wise on the timeline? I thought I saw one from Mr. DJ Moon 2, DJ Swirl 1. Yeah, it's just a little bit up there. D's, you see that right down there? Yeah. Swirl 1, how would you recommend trying to learn how to use Ableton?
I would say don't. I'm playing. It is a rabbit hole you don't ever want to get into. And once you get into it, it never ends. Let me tell you, you'll never find the end of it. There is no limit to what you can do inside that program. Let me tell you. But if you're actually interested in it, what I would say is first, you got to get the program. It does cost a few dollars. That's for sure. Once you get that, then it's just a matter of really, I would start out by, obviously hitting the YouTube, that kind of thing, and understanding even what you're trying to do. But at the end of the day, you have to understand it is a program. It's very much like the empty bowl that Simply Soapology had the other day. When you open it up, there's nothing magical about it. There's no magic buttons. There's not anything in there. You still have to understand all the different things that work with it. So whether you use FL, Ableton, it doesn't matter. A DAW is a DAW. That's a digital audio workspace. It doesn't matter. You can actually literally use anything to create. So start with GarageBand, something like that. If you can start making something fun out of GarageBand, then maybe move over to Ableton or FL or whatever you might want to use. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But I will say this. It will put you in a rabbit hole that you'll have to continually go as far as you possibly can imagine because it never ends. There's always something new. And somebody's always figuring out something. Sound design is one of the most fascinating things I have ever seen in my entire life. So there you go.
Hell yeah. Yeah, when I started making music, I got my start in GarageBand, dude. I was using GarageBand. I was fucking around and, I obviously put it down. But a lot of the guys that started making music when I did, I mean, they've grown and they've leveled up and they just keep getting better and better and better. And who knows, maybe one day we hear a little Sebastian Luck. Maybe he's the brand new DJ you guys don't even know about that you might soon know about on the timeline. There was one of those that we knew about only a couple of years ago. Now this motherfucker's selling out shows all over the fucking place. Shout out Charlie, one time for the one time. Who's to say, who's to know? Wasn't doing fuck all a few years ago. Now look at the motherfucker. I mean, come on. See what can happen? See what can happen if you just try? You just are okay with change. You're all right with going places that, oh man, it might feel a little awkward this way. Hey, Swirl 1, you think I can wear this shirt, bro? I don't know if I could pull this off yet. Yeah, hey, man, I don't know if I'm cool enough for this yet. And then he looks at you and he says, the only shirt you can't wear is the one you ain't wearing. All right, well, shit, I guess so. Why not? Hell yeah. Come on. What else we got out there, D's? We got anything good? Any other questions? I might have missed one or two. Or any other perspective shifters? Any comments, anything good. Happy birthday, Mama Capp, once again. We got a bunch of HBDs for Mama Bear all the way up at the top. If you don't know, you won't know. Completing her 59th lap around the sun and beginning the 60th, the one and only Mama Bear. We love you. We love you too, Mama. Appreciate you. Oh, look at all the happy birthdays. Oh, yeah. We appreciate you from the bottom of our heart, Mama Bear. Look at everybody showing you love today. Hey, look at all these amazing people in the chat. We got Big Time. We got Gator. We got Aunt Dottie. We got Malka, Glue Strip, Ted Logan. What up, brother? Look at all these amazing human beings in here this morning. Shout out to all you guys. So, one, anything you want to say to the people while we got their attention?
Yeah, I got to tell you guys, it's a great Friday to be alive today, and I really cannot thank you enough for tuning into the first week of Forge and Fuel. We try to kick this thing off strong so you understand kind of what we're doing. Obviously, there'll be change that comes to the show as we continue to move forward. However, having all of you along is the greatest thing we could have asked for, and it's great to see everybody from all over the world connecting with us. And we're going to keep bringing this hype every single day so that you can start your day properly. That way you can get a kickstart on it. We call it the pre-day workout, right? Maybe it's your like the pre-workout, but a pre-day workout. Basically, got to get your dose in before you start a kick-ass day. You can start it right here. Also, if you feel like it, you don't have to. Just a suggestion. But if you'd like to check out the Gateway, I would do that because today might be a good day to do so because we have a DJ party going on tonight. And if you are a full-time member and not a member of GACC, this man over here, right there. Yeah, that guy can get you a activity pass so you can show up to festivities and party with all of us tonight because we are going to kick off the weekend in style. Have a blast. I'll see you guys in GAC spaces tonight, throwing the raffles, the gag pots, bringing all of that hype because I don't care if it's even 12 hours from right now. We're bringing all the heat. So thank you for being here. Forge and Fuel is one of my favorite things to do now. I'm so excited. Let's go. Get your protein in, get your walk in, lift something, all of that.
100%. Let's go, Swirl One. Another amazing show. What a great way to start the day. Episode 577, baby. Holy shit. Man, time flies when you're having fun. A couple of reminders for all you guys. If you don't know, you won't know, but Swirl One did mention the Gateway. If you're not in there yet and you don't know what it is, let me tell you, it is the one-stop shop, all-in-one platform, the home of the Diamond Hand Media Group. Mental, physical, financial growth, an opportunity to connect with us deeper on the show, learn a little bit more, know before anybody else what's going on with the DHMG boat, what waves are we about to tap into. You can all know it all right there in the Gateway. You might get a little financing course. There might be some other courses in the future. You might get a little networking meeting. Might be able to connect with the real people. Who's to say? Who's to know? It's a pretty damn good platform, and you can get it all for 7 days free right now by going over to the Gateway and getting it started, baby. We'll see you in there, and we'll see you on the greens. If you're not a member of the Grandpa Ape Country Club Greens yet, that is their Discord. If you don't know, you won't know. Make sure you get in there at the Grandpa Ape CC. You can find that on He said, serum on the camera, get it on the steam, fill it in the spleen. Party at the country club is on me. All the other haters fall asleep in elevators. You know I gotta have it. Ballin' like Jordan, still gaining more traction, yeah. She get plenty. GACC, baby, I'm reppin'.
I'll be on time clock. I'm a Grandpa Ape till time stop. Let's go.
Maybe at the country club for a time now. We get wild when we talk shit.
Woo! That gets me going. Hey, if you need those vibes, you need some Grandpa Ape vibes tonight, you need a professional DJ to get your vibes right in wherever you might be. You ain't even got to go out to the club. You just got to hook up that Marshall Stanmore speaker, pop you some chocolates, and you got you a night, baby. Get on the greens. DJ Swirl One, live in prime time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be rocking all night long. And before then, if you want to connect a little bit more, you can find us on Spaces. DJ Swirl One will be hosting TGIF. Thank Grandpa, it's Friday from the Grandpa Ape Country Club account tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. When you see that post, make sure you like it, you repost it, and you set yourself a reminder, and we'll see you live in primetime in there tonight. If you had a trigger tripped, if you had a little perspective shift, if you had something burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul, if we got you going today, well, hey, don't be a hoe, share the show. Let the people know. Get it out on the timeline. You see a clip, we'll have some stuff out going over the weekend. Obviously, we won't be live, but we'll have plenty of clips. We'll have plenty of stuff out there. So please be a friend, tell a friend, share that stuff. We see you guys that already have. Thank you so much for helping us grow this show, helping us grow DHMG, helping us grow GACC, everything we got going on right now. This has been an amazing opening week, and I promise you guys the best is yet to come. Nothing else major to remind you about. We'll see you on another show, maybe another space, maybe a Discord, maybe a VC, maybe a DM group chat, or hell, even the gateway, baby. But before we see you there, we must remind you of a couple of things. Number one, even a 2-year-old can make an excuse. Number two, even a dead fish can go with the flow. And number three, being that this here show is a member of the Diamond Hand Media Group, I ask you keep in mind that DHMG, we don't only HOLD, we hold each other up. And right now is one hell of a time to flex those diamond hands. Shout out to each and every one of you flexing those diamond hands on a day in and day out, night in and night out basis. Hey, I got to give a special shout out to our Mr. Producer. He didn't think he was going to hit the screen, but there he is. What's up, baby? DWEC.
Hey, what's going on, Forge and Fuel crew, man? Appreciate you guys. You crushed it again once again, but what a fucking week it's been. I'm having more fun than anybody, I think. So just keep sharing the show. Let's get this message out here, because you said it earlier. More than now, people need community, and this community changed my life. So hey, I know it could change yours too, because I've watched it happen to so many other people right alongside me. So these guys know what they're talking about, and man, I just love this shit. The Diamond Hand shit. I love this grandpa shit. I love all the shit. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
I love this grandpa shit. Let's go.
Big love, D's. We appreciate you, bro. I had to give you a little shine here as we wrap up the final show of the week, man. I had to let everybody know. If you don't know, you won't know. That's our guy, Derek Snow, DEEZYY. Give him a follow. Get your life right. Get your mental right. Get your health and fitness back in track. DEEZYY will help you with it. That's a fact. But my friends, that's all we got. I tell you, as I always do on Friday, as you close the door of the week, please go into this weekend chasing nothing but triumphs. Leave your trials and tribulations at the doorway of the weekend and burst into that chicken sucker, building the life you've been dreaming of, not trying to escape the life you're currently living. Remember, you are kind, you are smart, you are important, and you are loved. We won't see you for a couple of days, but we'll be back here, same time, same place, Monday morning to kick off another electric week of growth here at Forge and Fuel. But for now, my friends, we bid thee adieu. We tell you to have a wonderful weekend. And until we see you again, as always, peace and love.